Yeah,
Are you
so
the city clerk?
Yes, I am.
what's today's February 10th, 2026, and this is Sarah Holger.
Carol Jefferson.
What's your name, ma'am?
I'm Debra Stantic.
And we are here at the New
Hall.
Albin City Hall.
Mhm.
Is that what this is?
New Albin, Iowa, right.
It's so cute. It's so little.
I know, well, we're only 443 people.
Oh my goodness.
Sounds
Right,
like a
that's right.
180 people.
It's neat because there's a lot of
Yeah.
historic buildings and stuff. It's
No, we try to keep them like we've kept the former city hall that you probably saw, that's now the museum.
yeah.
That was a police station at one time. Then we have the original fire station right next to it with the fire
Right.
truck in there.
Wow.
And then now, of course, they built this in the 60s.
Okay.
This is one of my favorite towns. I come down here through this area.
Oh, do you?
Probably a couple
Do you
times.
go-
I love it. And then I might camp or something. I'm only, a couple hours
Wait,
away. I love this area.
wait, you've got the city meat market there, you go,
What more do you need? You got the river, you got the Winnebago Valley, which I love.
the
Beautiful.
Winnebago Valley is outstanding.
Yeah.
All right.
There's a lot of history there, there's an old cemetery there too.
You were going to tell us about the other cemetery.
Right, the one in Winnebago, but you have to go up onto a ridge,
Okay.
and there are a lot of old settlers there.
Okay. What's that one called? Do you know?
No, I just know it from driving it,
Okay.
and you'll
So,
see a sign.
is it whether there's quite a steep road that we're coming back from icing, from the icing in, and down Dog Ridge or whatever it's called. And we're way down here, 3/4 of the way down. There's a road that kind of turns off as you're coming toward the river. It's kind of steep like that. Is that the road you're
Yes.
talking about?
That
How
cemetery.
far up is that cemetery?
Well, if you go this way, maybe a couple miles,
Oh, that's
maybe
not
3
bad.
miles.
Okay.
But you're going to pass the New Albin Cemetery when you first leave to
That's
go
the
down.
one we
Winne-
spend an hour at. Yeah.
Oh, you were just there?
Yeah, we love that.
Yes, but if you were to keep driving, there's another cemetery that's up on a ridge.
Okay.
There was a church up there at one time. The
What kind of
isn't
church was
there.
it? Was it
I think it was Catholic.
it was a German church?
Yes.
Probably.
You'll see some names up there, but that's a very old one. That's older than this one.
A lot of
Okay.
the people in this one that were English, that had English names, were born in the 1830s and died
Yes.
in the 1880s and early 1900s, and then some of their names
Yes.
are German. But it
Then
looks
the
like they
Germans
arrived
came
around
in.
18. Looks like they arrived in 1870s or 80s.
Right, that's why you're
Well-
seeing some German names there.
Do you know when was the town first established?
I think it was
German.
1884. I always have to look at this. We've got our history here.
Yeah. So there was settlers kind of in the area before it was a town.
Yes. Yes, in fact.
Well, there were two main channels along the river, the Wisconsin side, this side, and the Washington.
1872.
Okay. That's when it was officially
Yeah.
founded.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
1872. But you were asking about the railroad.
Yeah, the Underground Railroad.
Okay, right. You won't see things documented because of the prejudice,
Sure.
and also because they were hiding them.
Yeah, it was secret.
They didn't.
And then
want-
if you could possibly think of the man from Caledonia you said he was from?
Oh, I wrote myself a note to find
To look
him.
that up.
Oh, I will
Because
give you my
he's been
address
here.
to email
He's
later.
got a lot of research. He's
Good.
already tracked them, their whole trail. Because from here they went up into Minnesota, of course, but they were up there in the Freeburg area, and there was a Jefferson town that's not there anymore.
Right. So that's exactly why we came down this direction.
Let's
They
let her
came-
talk so we can record.
Oh, right, they came that way. From here, they came up, and then they got into Minnesota that way.
Oh,
Okay.
So because we
used to
have,
house, the family had a hotel, my family had a hotel. Right now it's the High Chaparral, it's a restaurant bar,
where is it? From here?
right here
In town?
Right on the main drag?
Yeah, on Main Street, there's a way station,
Wait, Main Street, are we talking about the highway or are we talking about?
highway.
Okay.
You have two red buildings straight ahead. One's the way station, that's like a community where you take clothes, like little resale, they help people.
Oh yeah, like a thrift shop.
Yes,
Fun,
and then
yeah.
the High Chaparral is next to it, they do not have a sign. But when you look at it, my
Is it a
family built
restaurant
that.
or what is it?
It's a restaurant bar on the first level, but upstairs are small rooms. That used to be a hotel when my
Are
family
the
had it.
prostitutes upstairs?
Yeah, no, I don't think so. The prostitutes were all in
Yeah,
lacrosse.
Those were in
No.
lacrosse, Carol.
No, they were all in lacrosse.
No, the rest of them were in Winona.
I can
Winona
tell you
had
where
some-
they were in lacrosse because my grandma did all their laundry.
Oh wow.
Mhm.
Oh my
The man
goodness.
next to me after his wife divorced him because he started having an affair. there was this pink Cadillac that would drive up the neighbor's house, an old farming area, drive up the neighbor's house. It was all covered with white furs on the inside. Oh, Paul, my neighbor, he took him a new girlfriend, and that was the retired prostitute of the last house in Winona.
Oh, wow, interesting.
yeah.
Winona prostitutes got shut down in the 1950s
Oh, no, I believe it.
because the people from Fort McCoy and stuff were coming.
Oh, the Fort McCoy boys were wonderful about keeping things alive.
You know what? When I first came to town in the 1970s, you weren't even in the 1970s, early 70s, allowed to be on 2nd Street
In La Crosse?
after dark in Winona.
No.
Yes, early 70s.
That's my era too, because I'm 74. That's
I'm
my
77.
era.
There we go. I couldn't walk down to the hardware store on 2nd Street after 7 p.m. Unless I was accompanied by my husband, who always just, I couldn't get in movies, whatever.
Isn't that amazing? That's
Yeah.
not so far
Right.
ago.
Right.
We really,
forget.
We
yeah.
really experienced the prejudice side. We got to see it too.
Yeah.
Hey, it's not just that. When I was hired at Winona State,
Right.
they put my office in the education building around the science building because girls would fit in better with, I would fit in better with the girls in education than the men in the sciences. I had a PhD. Most of those people I'm dealing with in the science team had
Back then, the
PhDs.
PhD was a big deal.
Right.
Well, it's very hard to get one even in the early 70s
Correct.
like I did because
Correct.
they weren't,
Correct.
I was in a graduate department.
No, you just.
So-
All male faculty, all
Didn't
male
have it.
graduate students, and here I am, they couldn't even put an office for me in graduate school in the building with a botany department because they didn't have any.
Can I ask a couple questions quick?
Let's get on
So-
to the main point.
What was your family that was here early on? What was the last name?
Myers and Pullman.
So where did they come from?
Can you spell it?
Directly from Germany?
Yes.
Can you spell
Okay.
Coleman?
Pullman, Pohlman.
Oh, that's
They would be the second generation.
And were they
Okay.
Catholic or were they Lutheran?
They were all Methodist.
Methodist.
Yes, yes.
Uh-huh.
So were they Wesleyan Methodist or Methodist Episcopal? Do you know?
I would have to say Western. I don't think.
Wesleyan.
Wesleyan.
Wesleyan was the term. W-E-S-L-Y.
Yes, I.
Yes.
Yes.
So was there a Methodist church right here?
Yes.
Yes.
Is the building still standing or
This
no?
building's still standing.
Brownsville was
It's a
mostly
church.
West.
It's still a
The
church.
building's still there, but
It's
they
not
sold
Methodist.
it for $1 to a man who is living in there now.
So it's a home.
So where can we see it? On the street, from the street.
Maybe I'll just take you.
That
I'll
would be
just-
great.
I'll just
That would
show
be
you these
easiest.
things.
Oh, when she
Yeah.
comes back. You can't leave
No,
both.
today.
Yes.
Don't you want to see it?
Yes, we want to
Are
see all of this stuff.
We didn't know if we could today or not.
Yeah.
So, I'll show you the church. Now, of course, they've disbanded. They meet over here at the town hall, and there's only about 3 people left.
Of course,
But
yeah.
they all went to that church. So it was the Pullmans and the Myers. It was all Germans. Norwegians were not here. It was all Germans.
We
Okay.
saw in this cemetery down here, I
Norwegians
think I saw
were
one
in
Norwegian name.
Wisconsin.
I think I saw one Norwegian name in the cemetery.
Did you?
There was an Olson over there, I saw.
Wow.
Yeah.
Could have married a German or something.
Right.
Because,
A German girl could have married a Norwegian boy.
yes, because that's
Especially
how
if she
our
was working-
family, that happened from the Osseo, Blair area of Wisconsin. That's how my mother from here married my father.
So do you know, sorry to interrupt you,
Mhm.
the stories that you heard about your ancestors assisting runaway slaves, how were they coming from the river or were they coming up through somewhere else in Iowa on land? Do you know how they were getting here?
They were coming on land. I'm sure they did come on river too a little bit, but mostly they were traveling by land.
So that's what so we have multiple routes coming in.
They were
in
not
Minnesota.
on the river.
And
Even
so-
though I think this Caledonia man told me they were sometimes down on the, some did travel by river too.
Yes,
Okay.
and they traveled on actually the Minnesota Packet Company.
Oh, did
steamboats.
they?
They actually, in the late 1840s on, actually transported fugitives up to St. Paul.
That's nice. I'm glad they did.
Yes,
I'm
good
glad
man.
there were some kind-hearted people that did that.
Did boats stop here? Was there a,
Yes, there used to, right outside of New Albany. There's still a building there where they used to come right up there. There was lots of buildings. There was a whole little town there.
okay.
But that's all
What,
been
what happened to the
destroyed
town of
except for one
Jefferson? Has
building.
it disappeared?
Yes.
See, because our thought was, because we've got the Underground Railroad coming in from Iowa,
Mm-hmm.
but I thought, what if they're coming from the river, or what if they're going to the river?
It's
They're
so
gonna come up-
close.
They're going to come, yes, they're going to come down through the Winnebago Creek.
Oh, yes.
Valley. Right.
That's
So
where
you're
they
saying
did.
they're
They
going
went up-
both directions, some were going up, some were coming out, or
Oh,
what?
no, they were all heading north.
And they were getting off of boats heading north?
Some, and then some were on the ground.
See, our town of Winona was one of the most active abolitionist settlements any place.
How nice.
So we tracked, I was the archivist for the Congregational Church, and I said, I know
Okay.
these people, our church was supported by these big anti-slavery church organizations because it was considered one of the premier anti-slavery churches struggling on the western frontier, and so they supported us. Our people, as you've learned, and I've done research all these years, they were down founding some of the black colleges in the South.
Yeah.
They were everywhere,
Mhm.
and when they tracked them back, the most radical, immediate end of slavery people in the 1830s, a lot of these people came to settle in Winona, Minnesota, under one particular leader. And I think he was one that organized a lot of
Interesting
this.
that they're coming this way to get maybe there.
Yeah.
I think so.
Right.
Because we
makes
find
sense.
these various routes we're looking at, they're headed toward Winona. I think they get off the river here, because you wouldn't want to get off in Winona necessarily.
Absolutely.
So these people had
Absolutely.
they were active in the
Makes-
immediate end of slavery, starting in the late 1820s
Oh,
and
no.
particularly through the 30s.
Yep, that's
All
what,
through the East. We're talking Massachusetts, we're talking New Hampshire,
Oh,
we're
yeah.
talking Vermont, we're talking New York, we're talking Michigan, we're talking Illinois, we're talking Ohio. Wow. I mean, this is what my research has been, and
well, no, it makes
we
sense.
need your information.
No, it makes sense that they were coming through here to get to Winona.
Yeah.
That's
And
what,
they were going up the Winnebago
yes.
to
Right.
get to this wow.
And then you pick up the stage,
Right.
you pick up the old territorial road.
Whoa,
the
absolutely.
stage
Of course they
roads.
were. Of course they
Yes.
were.
Yeah.
This highway, and all of that, they were Jefferson, they were coming there. And I'll show you the stone house
Cool.
that's still there where
Awesome.
they received some of
Oh,
that.
I'm dying
So
to
your ancestors then ran this hotel.
Yes.
What else? Were they farmers? Did they do other?
No, they were businessmen. They had
Okay.
like a restaurant downstairs and a bar, and then they had the hotel upstairs.
Okay.
And then the way station, that was a philharmonic, or how do you say that?
Philharmonic.
Yes, a hall. They had dancers in there. And
That's like,
orchestras.
Like the literary society.
Yes.
Did you have a literary society here too? It was called Atheism.
Young Men's Library Association or
Men's
whatever they call
library
it.
guilds.
They brought in like debaters and speakers.
Yeah, I think-
Well, that's what he built it for.
Yes, exactly. And
They
a lot
have
of times, a lot of times these organizations
Yeah.
were strongly anti-slavery.
Yeah.
So if somebody would show up in town needing help,
That's
if somebody
Yeah.
didn't know, they would actually had learned, I think, to ask for a men's library association or literary club or one of these
Yes, I
things.
mostly he had it for music and dances, but I wouldn't be surprised if it had
interesting.
that, but that's the building next
So they
to
could
it, so
share
they were
books.
both
Yeah.
built together like that.
So do you know, are there any diaries or journals or anything
No.
that your ancestors kept? I mean, a lot of times they're not going to write about
Yeah,
this
they
stuff
don't want
anyways
to.
because they don't want to get in trouble. But
Right,
So when did this start?
it was all word of mouth.
right.
Are we starting here in the 1850s now?
Yes,
All the way up through the Civil War. So were people come during the Civil War, coming, escaping from the South? Especially coming up from Missouri or anything like that? That's what we
I
think.
would be,
Right.
I remember hearing Missouri, that my mother
That would
said
make
they were coming
sense.
that way.
Because crossing up,
It's actually, we just.
and the Quakers south of here were like helping them get north too.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Then
Well,
you
we
had
had
a
some
big
people
Native
apparently came up
American
from Arkansas as well.
influence too.
I know. That's why we were curious because it's the neutral neutral ground with the Ho-Chunk.
So we're wondering whether the
Yes.
Ho-Chunk, as they call them back in the
No,
days,
they weren't, the
Winnebago.
Ho-Chunk, that wasn't so strong.
So the Ho-Chunk weren't interested in helping these people?
That's what we're trying to figure out. Like if they
No, because the Native Americans were receiving prejudice as much as the blacks were.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So they wouldn't incorporate the Native Americans into that.
The
because
Native
they
Americans
were-
would help the black because it'd be more competitive, is what you're saying?
No, the Native Americans and blacks were like, the unwanted people.
right,
What we're trying to figure out, did the Native Americans help the blacks?
would they have worked together?
I've never
In
heard
some
of that.
places they did.
Someplace they did. up
Because
in the
there's
Twin
that
Cities.
stories too of
I've
that
never
of
heard
Joseph
of that.
Godfrey living
For
along
example,
the
I grew up
Dakota.
on Madeline Island, okay?
Mhm.
Through the summers forever. My family been up there forever. And growing up, I heard there was an Underground Railroad Center. It was mostly Native Americans, the times they're talking about.
So yeah,
Interesting.
It
I suppose
is.
too if you're like trading goods
about
for that
1850s.
service, like
Oh,
will
and they
you
were
help
always-
these folks? We'll give you
Yes.
whatever cattle, blankets, whatever. I bet.
Yes.
I think about stagecoach drivers too. Like if you're willing to pay them enough, they're like
Yes.
fine, hide in the stuff,
So-
hide in the bottom of
Because
the
you had a lot of gypsies too.
right. Yeah.
Gypsies were very prevalent.
So did
around
you
here.
had a Wesleyan Methodist church. Now the church in Brownsville, was that a Wesleyan Methodist as well?
Well, that one I don't know too much about Brownsville.
I do know a little bit about Brownsville.
But they were
have one church.
going
was
up that
Methodist.
way.
We should try to talk with somebody at Brownsville another time.
Right.
A history
so,
I'm
lesson.
trying to get you
You're
this
perfect.
Pretty
man,
awesome.
You are perfect.
because he has the whole route they took.
That's interesting.
Because we do it too, and I bet our routes are going to coincide coming from totally different angles.
There was that one man that Laura was working
Oh, the one I
with,
told her
and he
about.
took her to those caves. I wonder if that's the
Oh,
guy.
in Brownsville?
Yeah, well, he might be a Caledonia. No, he is a Brownsville guy. You're right.
Yes.
Because he took her to those caves and let her climb up in there, which they're kind of locked off. Like most people can't get into them. I think it's in Brownsville.
Well, a lot of these
Oh,
caves
'cause
along the bluffs here.
Right over by Fish Mounds or some
Right,
caves.
a lot of those caves
Oh.
are walled off. We just took a picture of one in Winnebago Valley there. That, because there'd be a spring nearby and for cold storage, you put your meat in there. So
Oh,
cold
yeah.
Right,
there.
storage.
Yes.
Yeah,
And of course they were
Minneaska has
locked
those.
off.
Yeah.
I live in a valley, and the ridge right behind me, there's a spring like that with a spring house, and there's stuff that are locked
Yes.
off. That's for keeping your meat cool.
Yes.
Because you got the cold waters coming out at 40 to
Yes.
50 degrees.
Yes. Correct.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
the
that's-
family.
Keep talking.
That's the family that owns all that. But that's interesting that you're saying that the Native American helped.
Well,
We don't
it has
know.
been documented in some places because the French voyageurs and the fur traders had black servants, and then those intermarried with Ojibwe and Dakota, and so that you get this like multicultural that people don't realize was there.
Yeah, so when I was tracking some of my ancestors, we have these French fur traders intermarrying with
Yes.
the Ojibwe and the
They
Ottawa
were all
and the
here.
Hurons.
I'll
that
show
sort
you
of
the
thing.
building.
Oh
Right.
my gosh.
Intermarrying. But then there also are opposed to slavery. The Christians opposed to slavery, and which you should be if you're a proper Christian, as far as I'm concerned.
Right.
And so we see, getting onto Madeline Island, we see this is mostly native with a few traders, and yet I grew up being told that was Underground Railroad Center.
Right.
They're coming up, apparently the Chippewa River or whatever, and they come and they end up and they cross over La Pointe, the big trading center in Madeline, and they basically then disappeared in the Great Lakes,
Correct.
working
Get
for
across
the fur
the
traders
lakes.
and trying to get into Canada.
Yeah.
Well, getting to Canada, Lake Superior is not a good idea to get to Sault Ste. Marie area because it's basically empty land.
Huh.
Pretty wild. So
It's
that's what we're wondering where the
interesting.
Ho-Chunk, when they were stuck here, may have been kind of cooperative too.
If they could have been, yeah.
I've never known the whole chunk to be that strong around here.
You know,
There's other Native American tribes.
Well, the Ho-Chunk, actually, I have a friend who just passed away who was Ho-Chunk. And the Ho-Chunks actually didn't even get a reservation until I think the 1970s, so he lived here. Each one of their households was considered a reservation. So his family had been moved, his ancestors had been moved during the Black Hawk War.
Mhm.
And then they were shoved in here between the Dakota, because now the Fox and the Sauk had come from
Yes.
Wisconsin.
Yeah.
So they shoved
Yeah,
the
they were
Ho-Chunk
all-
in here.
So
And the
it's-
Ho-Chunk were really agricultural people. And since they never have a reservation under the
Wow.
law until they gave them a reservation, eastern Wisconsin.
Yeah,
which
you
is where
never
it came
heard
from.
their name.
Yeah.
Just their house. Just their house. Everybody's house was a member of the Ho-Chunk Nation.
Interesting.
Was a reservation.
Yeah.
And so he had a
the
train
other
of
ones that she just mentioned,
The Sauk and the
those are
Fox.
the names that I've only heard around here.
Interesting.
And they didn't even come from here. They were just dumped out of further west and eastern Wisconsin, just dumped into Iowa after
So
the
that
Black
was,
Hawk
I
War.
can see them helping them because they know the
been
feeling of being dumped.
displaced.
And a lot of
Yeah.
officers had black servants.
I wonder if we could track down, like Balcombe worked with the Ho-Chunk, didn't he? After he left Winona.
Then he was sent
But
to Nebraska.
journals, diaries of those folks who are working with them, if there's anything like,
You're talking about St. Andre Falls.
yeah, if anything would be
Was
mentioned.
there ever a Congregational or a Presbyterian church in this community? Or Quaker community?
I would have to say yes, that's in Freeburg.
And what were they?
Freeburg. That's, I think that says Presbyterian. They have the old arch wrought iron, and I think it says Presbyterian. I just
You gotta dig a little around, yeah,
That's in Freeburg.
okay,
So that's going up that way too.
okay,
Because it was right after Jefferson.
okay.
Reno,
I love
Freeburg.
having a town called Jefferson, 'cause my name is Jefferson.
Carol Jefferson.
Oh, yes.
So,
And you gone into Lansing yet? Because there's where all the French were.
Huh,
yeah, I have been Lansing, but
not to
looking
dig
at
around,
this.
right?
I say this is an 18-year research thing. I just simply have to write up. It's endlessly fascinating. There's always something new.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's been nice to have Sarah come because she takes notes and tells me what I'm supposed to be writing up.
Well, no, that's great. Yeah, I just went to that church. I was going to see if I took a picture of the front, but can't see it. I was there, yeah. It was extraordinary.
So most of the people that helped the blacks were Wesleyan Methodists, the Quakers, Congregational Wesleyan Methodists, and what were called New School Presbyterians, the Northern Presbyterians. They were
Okay.
not very conservative. They were not strict Calvinist predestination. And in the 1820s, they started to merge the Congregational and New Presbyterian churches. So a lot of these Congregational churches and Presbyterian churches were dual,
Oh, yes.
and they both Congregational Presbyterians.
Yes.
And it might be a Presbyterian church with a Congregational minister, or a Congregational
Yes.
church with a
Oh,
Presbyterian
no,
minister.
that's Freeburg.
Why is it called Freiburg?
That's the name of the city.
Yeah, well, I know.
How to
Berg
get
is town, so that's German.
free town, free.
Oh.
Yeah, I wonder what.
If it was German around there.
Yeah.
I don't know how did Freeburg get its name?
Sounds like a German name.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure it is. It's
Puppies
not
are
too-
so
It's not
patient.
too far from here. But you do up there, I could see that, I could see that all mixing together.
Mm-hmm.
This is so neat. And
Yeah.
you're going to think of that guy's name.
I will have to find that, yes.
So, Sarah, I have my clipboard
came
here.
in
We're going to
here.
give her
So
my.
we're gonna go to, you wanted to see the museum?
That would be
Yes,
awesome.
I need to use the bathroom one more time. And Sarah, could you write out my email and name for her?
Sure, I can. I'm gonna
She's
turn
not
this off
age yet,
now.
but she has to go to the bathroom again.